Good morning. This story that I'm going to talk about is about Abraham. And the concept of it is obedience, because I told you so. I'm sure you've heard those words many times before. It's from Genesis 12:1. The Lord said to Abram, "Leave your country, your people, and your father's household, and go to the land I will show you." So here's a road map. And I'm sure some of you don't even use them anymore. Many times when you traveled, you'd use like an atlas. But a lot of people now use GPS, they use their phones. But that's a map of the whole United States. So if you've seen one of these, it's probably a rarity now. When do your moms and dads use a road map, or possibly use their GPS? A road map shows us where people live. When you go on a trip, a road map helps you to find where you're going. It shows the best roads to take and how far you will have to travel. The Bible tells us about a man named Abraham who lived long ago. Abraham and his wife Sarah lived in the land of Ur of the Chaldees, where all their friends and family members lived. One day, God called Abraham and said, "Leave your country and your people and your father's household and go to the land I will show you." God didn't give Abraham a road map, and he certainly didn't tell Abraham how far this land was. Abraham didn't say, "Well, God, I can't go because I don't know the road, and I don't know how many miles I have to travel." Abraham didn't even ask, "Why, God? Why must I go away from here?" No. Abraham believed that God would lead and guide him to the land where God wanted him to be. Sometimes our moms or dads tell us to do something and we ask, why? Sometimes they give us a reason, and sometimes they just say, "Because I told you so." That's why. We can't always understand why we need to do what our parents ask us to do. We can't always understand why we need to do what the Bible tells us to do, but we still must obey. Our Heavenly Father tells us to honor our father and mother. He doesn't say we have to understand everything first before we obey them. When God called Abraham to go to a faraway country, Abraham obeyed God even though he didn't understand all the reasons. God blessed Abraham for his faith and obedience. Remember that God will still bless his children today when they trust him and obey him, even though they don't know or understand all the reasons why. So remember that, guys, you need to honor your mother and father. It is hard to always listen. It is hard to always obey, but we know that's what God's trusting us to do. God's trusting us to, live by faith and live by obedience. So we need to work harder at that, including myself. So take heed on this lesson and try to do a little better. So I hope you have a wonderful week. Enjoy this wonderful spring weather, and I'll see you real soon.